This episode is brought to you by John Blake Sales Breakthrough Solutions, helping you to at least double the amount of leads that you get that convert into paying clients.
Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 151, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can do when you have questions that you want to ask that you feel a little bit weird about asking. So I think this will be super beneficial. It'll allow you to ask some of the harder questions that perhaps you might feel a bit weird asking. So I think it's going to be really super beneficial for you. But before we do that, if you've got leads in your pipeline that you want to convert into paying clients, I've got a really good resource for you. It's over at johnblakeaudio.com, and what it is, it's a 15-minute training, so super punchy, super to the point, no fluff, and it walks you through a strategy that you can use and a structure over a 90-day period that you can use to double sales with your existing lead flow. So these are people you've already spoken to, you've already made an offer to, but they didn't buy. So this is how to follow them up over a 90-day period so that you can convert more of those people into paying clients. This is an asset in your business that most people don't know that they're sitting on. What you're going to get is over the 90 days, you'll see exactly when to call. You'll see exactly what to say when you ring them up. So there'll actually be a script that you can use when you call people. There'll be exactly when to email, and there will be exactly what to write in each email. So I can't give you any more that you could use. It is everything that I use myself, and it is exactly what I do with every single client that I start with, because everybody's got this ridiculous amount of unbanked sales in their proposal sent column of their CRM. So it is over at johnblakeaudio.com. Go grab it and put it into use, and let me know how it goes. I have had so many people that have given me so much incredible feedback from using this resource, and I'm sure it's going to work for you as well. It is at johnblakeaudio.com. So go and check it out, use it, and let me know how you go. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is some prefixes, right, that you can use at the start of questions that can make it easier for you it'll make you feel better about asking the question, it'll make the question flow better, but most importantly, it'll be received by the actual client that you're talking to in a way that's not quite as confrontational, right? So there are certain times and there are certain questions that we want to ask clients, and sometimes we feel a bit intimidated asking them those questions. The questions might, if the context isn't 100% right, if we haven't created the right context, the questions might come across as a bit clangy. So they might they might just sort of they might just not be received as well. So the idea is that we use these things called softeners, right? So softeners are the things that you can put but before you actually ask a question that can make that question come across and be received in a less confrontational way. A lot of people who listen to the podcast want to know what we do over at Master Dealmaker Secrets. And effectively what we do is we work with sales professionals and business owners all over the world who are seeing massive increases in their top line sales revenue. So we help business owners and sales professionals to effectively focus on the three key drivers to growing sales revenue in your business. The first one is controlling the message that you send out into the marketplace so that potential clients see and hear and read what you do as an opportunity as opposed to your competitors. The second thing that we do is we help you to create a direct path to the 20% of your ideal clients that will deliver 80% of the revenue. So everyone knows the 80-20 rule. We help you to develop a direct path to the 20% of the people that are going to give you 80% of your sales revenue in your business. And the third thing that we allow you to do, that we create a process for, is for you to be able to double the amount of leads that you get that convert into paying clients. So if this is of interest, we do have an application-only process to become involved in this particular program. And to get to there, all you need to do is to go to www.johnblakescall.com. So it's JOHNBLAKESCALL.com, and there's a couple of questions to answer there, and then what you'll do is get on a quick conversation with me, and I can find out a little bit more about what you've got going on in your business and see potentially whether what you are doing would be a fit for what we could help you with. And at that point, I can extend an invitation if it's a fit, and you can make the choice to come on board or not. So that's the opportunity. That would be the next step if you're looking at how you can take things to the next level. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, if you're getting value from it, I invite you to do that, and I will look forward to talking to you. The website is www.johnblakescall.com. Talk to you soon. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. So you might want to ask somebody, what is your current monthly revenue, right? Or you might ask somebody, what is your current monthly profit in your business, all right? So just coming straight out and asking that, so what's your current profit in your business, right? That's one way of asking somebody that question. But a way that you could ask that question with a softener could be, so out of curiosity, what is your current monthly revenue at the moment? And what is your current average for the last 90 days, right? So that'll give you a pretty good understanding of where somebody's revenue is at if you wanted to ask them that question. Or you could say, so out of interest, or you could say, so out of curiosity, or you could say, and before I forget, and just while I'm thinking about it, you know what I mean? So those prefixes can make those questions sound a lot less confrontational and a lot more conversational, right? So the first one is, so out of interest. The second one is so out of curiosity, and then you could use a combination of and while I'm thinking about it, or before I forget, the other thing I wanted to ask you was, you know what I mean? So you're prefacing those questions with something that just makes them a little bit less confrontational and a little bit more likely to sort of slip under the radar and not make someone think, I don't really want to answer that, So they can be really useful, I've found. If there's ever a question that you need to ask a potential client, that's a really, really powerful tool that you can use. So I hope that helps. And as usual, thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.